Hello guys, good morning. Today our topic is transactions. Nowadays each and everyone can know the transaction, but they know only just inserting the card and getting the money only they know. But what are the back operations? What are the operations are performing while we doing the transaction? What are the operations are happening? You don't know about that. So that I am saying what is the transaction? Okay. First, what is the transaction? Actually, this transaction is a set of logically related operations. Okay, there is so many operations are performed while we performing the transaction. Each small transaction can contain so many several operations. Okay, this transaction is performed by the single user, but this each transaction can contain several operations. So that I am saying transaction is an action or a series of actions. Okay, and this can be performed by the single user to access the data from the database. For example, see here transaction is a set of logically related operations, or it contains group of tasks. I can explain clearly about this. Our transaction is an action or a series of actions, and it is performed by the single user to perform or for accessing the data or content of the database. Okay, so for example, one bank employee transferring the particular amount from X account to the Y account. This small transaction can contain several operations. Okay, yeah, see here, first X account. First he is opening the account and check the balance of old balance, how much balance he had, and next he can transfer the amount to the Y person, and after transferring the amount, what is the remaining balance, and after checking the balance and after saving the balance to the database, he can close the account. These operations are performing while doing the transaction. Not only these operations, and same the way we transfer the amount to the Y account, so Y also checks the balance. First he can open the account and check the new old balance and after the new balance. Okay, and after he can close the account. So what are the operations are performing in the one transaction? Yeah, read operation and write operations are performing in the transaction. I will tell you. First he is in X account, he is just opening the account and checking the old balance. Means here it can read the balance and store this balance into the buffer. Okay, in main memory it can just save temporarily. Okay, by reading the balance. Here we have the read operation, and next it can transfer the amount to the Y account and remaining balance, that means new balance, is just saved into the buffer. Okay, by performing the read operation. Here also another read operation, and next this buffer memory is written back to the database. This new balance is then saved to the database by using the write operation. So here we have read operation and write operations. Okay, read operation just check the balance and just save this into the buffer memory. Okay, and after which amount you want to save into the database, that will be saved by the write operation. Okay, here also just first check the old balance, that is a read operation. Next new balance is written back to the Y account, so this is the write operation. We have two operations, that is read operation and the write operation. Okay, but while performing the transactions we will face so many failures. Why? Because if we transferring the money, once you transfer the money, first you can open the account and transferring the amount to the Y account. At the same time, after performing this, what will happen? It's just saved into the buffer memory. That means it's saving temporarily, not permanently. Once you transfer the money, if you lost the power or if you lost any network failure you will get, then what will happen? Some failure will occur. So that to overcome the failures, we are using commit and rollback operations. By using the commit, what are the operations are performed, those are automatically saved permanently. Okay, by using the commit, what are the operations are performed while performing the transaction, those are saved permanently. Okay, that is one commit operation. And next one is rollback. By using the rollback, we can undo the work. What are the operations are performed by the transaction, those are undo. Okay, these, by using these two operations, we can overcome the failures. In the same way, we have the four properties, the transaction properties, that is atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. First, what is the atomicity? Atomicity means if the transaction contains so many operations. Okay, the transaction contains so many operations, we know that. But if these all operations of the transaction is takes place at once only. Okay, these are once the transaction of all operations are takes place at once. If not performed, the transaction is aborted. That means the transaction operations are performed, total operations okay, otherwise the total transaction is aborted. Okay, if the transaction is successful, then it will be committed, otherwise aborted. That is the property of atomicity. And next one is consistency. Consistency means what is the state of the, which state it is, what is the state of the database, what is the state of the transaction, what is the before the transaction, what is the state of the database, which amount you have after the transaction and before the transaction, which amount you have. You should maintain some consistency, no confusion at all. Okay, you just maintain some consistency about the amount, whatever it may be, that is before the transaction or after the transaction, you should maintain some consistency. Okay, and next one is isolation. Isolation means ensure, it can say that the transaction is isolated from other transaction. That means if for example X and Y are maintaining some joint account, but here the account have only 2000 money only. X wants to debit the money, the same time Y also wants to debit the money, but account have only 2000 money. If both are on to transfer or debit the money, then only one transaction is performed once. After completing the transaction, only Y can perform the transaction. Okay, once the one transaction is executing, then another person cannot, and by another person's transaction cannot be executed. Okay, this is the isolation. Next one is durability. Durability means can have the property of recovery. Okay, that means if the transaction is in a consistent state, after the consistent state, if the total system is failure, of course by using the durability you can recover the entire data. Okay, this is the durability. These are the four properties of transaction: atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. These are the transaction properties. Thank you for watching. Thank you.